Welcome back to the Human History Project, where we raid the archives and sift the rumors. In this video, we're cracking open dusty newspapers and forgotten novels to count down 5 predictions so eerily accurate you'll think someone leaked the script of the future. From a novelist who practically live-tweeted the Titanic 14 years early, to Mark Twain timing his own exit to the swing by of a comet. So strap in, and don't forget to tap that subscribe button if you love your history. Let's roll the countdown. Number 5. John Elfreth Watkins Jr. predicting wireless phones and instant photos in 1900. At the turn of the 20th century, Smithsonian curator John Elfreth Watkins Jr. published What May Happen in the Next 100 Years. In it, he predicted wireless telephones spanning the globe and pictures transmitted instantly across distance, basically cell phones and Instagram. Watkins wasn't a sci-fi novelist at all. He was a railroad engineer turned Smithsonian curator. After losing a leg in a work accident with the Pennsylvania Railroad, he pivoted to preserving America's industrial tech at the U.S. National Museum. That outsider-insider position gave him a unique perspective. For the Smithsonian Magazine's Christmas issue of 1900, Watkins interviewed what he called the most learned and conservative minds in America. Then, stitched their forecasts into 28 very bold prophecies for the year 2000. He wrote, "Wireless telephone and telegraph circuits will span the world. A husband in the middle of the Atlantic will be able to converse with his wife sitting in her boudoir in Chicago." That may not sound impressive now, but back then, it was like predicting flying cars on every street. Equally wild for 1900, he declared photographs will be telegraphed from any distance, published an hour later, and reproduce all of nature's colors. That's Instagram, a full century early, and it doesn't even take an hour to send those photos. Watkins didn't just guess gadgets. He grasped the human itch to connect and see in real time. By projecting communication trends instead of specific hardware, his century-old blueprint still reads like a product roadmap. Number 4. Mark Twain predicting his own death with the return of Halley's Comet. Mark Twain is the satirical giant behind the adventures of Huckleberry Finn and Tom Sawyer. Twain turned everyday America into literary gold while nurturing a lifelong fascination with science, gadgets, and the night sky. Twain's very birth on November 30th, 1835 coincided with Halley's Comet blazing past Earth. So when the comet's 75-year return neared, the ever-dramatic author saw poetic symmetry. "I came in with Halley's Comet in 1835. It is coming again next year, and I expect to go out with it. It will be the greatest disappointment of my life if I don't go out with Halley's Comet," he said in a 1909 interview. Ever the storyteller, he treated the cosmos as a stage prop, framing his life as a punchline the universe itself would deliver. Halley's Comet reached perihelion on April 20th, 1910. The very next evening, on April 21st, Twain suffered a heart attack and died at 74, sealing one of history's most uncanny exit lines. Number 3. Morgan Robertson and the sinking of the Titan. 14 years before the Titanic disaster, Robertson's novella Futility described an unsinkable liner named Titan that hit an iceberg in the North Atlantic at almost the exact speed and month of the real tragedy. Robertson spent a dozen hard years working at sea, was promoted to first mate, then swapped North Atlantic spray for a writer's desk. By the 1890s, shipyards were racing to build ever bigger transatlantic greyhounds. Robertson, worried about hubris, penned a cautionary novella, a record-sized liner called Titan, advertised as unsinkable, steams full tilt into an iceberg, and pays the price. The steamship Titan was considered practically unsinkable. Unsinkable, indestructible, she carried as few boats as would satisfy the laws. Name, size, speed, April collision, lifeboat shortfall, the checklist reads like plagiarism by fate. Was Robertson psychic? Hardly. When reporters chased him after 1912, he shrugged, "I know what I'm writing about, that's all." Publishers rushed a reissue, sales spiked, and Robertson's once-forgotten sea story became the most chilling what-if in literary history. Number 2. Jules Verne and the Moonshot Details. In From the Earth to the Moon, Verne launched 3 astronauts from Florida in an aluminum capsule, splashing them down in the Pacific, mirroring Apollo 8 a century later. Long before science fiction was a shelf label, French writer Jules Verne turned cutting-edge tech into page-turners like 20,000 Leagues and Around the World in 80 Days. But in 1865, he aimed even higher, literally, with From the Earth to the Moon, a novel that reads today like NASA fan fiction written a century early. Verne devoured popular science magazines and U.S. Civil War artillery specs. America's huge post-war cannons convinced him that with enough gun cotton and a Florida launch site close to the equator, humans could be shot to the moon. Verne's 3-man crew, aluminum capsule, Florida launch, ocean recovery, and even the public spectacle countdown all echo Apollo 8 to a spooky degree. His only major miss? He used a giant gun instead of rockets. But the mission profile is ridiculously on target. Verne wasn't clairvoyant, he was a journalist of possibility. By extending real ballistics math and the global hunger for exploration, he almost forecast the logistics of lunar travel. Number 1. George Orwell predicting a surveillance society. The novel 1984, which was published in 1949, imagined two-way telescreens and a culture of complete surveillance. Today, billions of CCTV feeds and data-hungry phones prove Big Brother didn't need to be the state. We can install him ourselves. Born Eric Arthur Blair, Orwell quit Elite Eton for a rough posting in the Burma Imperial Police, then reinvented himself as the plain-spoken voice of the British working class with books like Animal Farm and 1984. In 1937, Orwell took a bullet through the throat fighting Franco in Spain. Watching communist secret police disappear their own allies convinced him that mass spying could murder truth itself. During World War II, he ran news broadcasts for the BBC's Eastern Service, mastering the machinery of censorship and bureaucracy, experience he later said all went into 1984. There was, of course, no way of knowing whether you were being watched at any given moment. You had to live from habit that became instinct, in the assumption that every sound you made was overheard. No two-way telescreens yet, but a single stroll through the city of London puts you on more lenses than Orwell ever imagined. Orwell wasn't forecasting gadgets. He was warning about power. By spotlighting the logic of watch everyone always, he sketched the operating system of 21st century life decades before the first webcam lit up. From literary prophets to futurist scientists, these visionaries proved that imagination can be a time machine. Which prediction blew your mind the most? And what future forecasts do you believe will come true next? Tell us in the comments below. And if you like this video, don't forget to like, subscribe, and ring the bell for notifications of our upcoming videos. See you in the next one.